Hello world. It's me. It's been a while since I last recorded anything. To be fair, I was planning on going on a trip, but apparently things didn't go all too well, and, well, I'm still stuck in here. Yeah, still stuck in the States. Originally meant to go out of country, but apparently some genius thought, I didn't need my visas to get on the plane from a layover to another layover. Yeah, so that happened. But in other regards, I've just been thinking to myself, God, isn't the world just great? Isn't everything just going fine and dandy? Just, man. The reason I haven't been on for a while is just I've just been busy with a lot of things. But mainly that big thing was with my trip and doing that and just working and whatnot. You tend to forget a lot of things when you're busy and you kind of get a bit loose with your scheduling and whatnot if you're just going through the motions and not staying consistent and precise, which unfortunately I have been guilty of quite a few times. But man, it really sucks because I really wanted to go on that trip despite how rough it was going to be on just all the flights and basically the time differences going to be affecting my body. But all in all, it would have been a really cool trip to go on. It's just that, unfortunately, relying on people seems to be such a non existent thing, you know? And this is where I'm really kind of leading things into is like, you know, it kind of sucks to rely on anyone, apparently. People are just naturally unreliable, as I've noticed. Have you ever wondered just how fucking useless people are when you're at your job or just walking down the street or just essentially just seeing people go about their normal days? And you really think about the things that some of these people say and do, it really gets you to think, how did this person get here? And if they don't know how to do this simple, basic fucking thing, you know? It really makes you think how anyone does anything or how anything gets done. I think people like to coin it as the tyranny of the majority or tyranny of the mediocre. That's what some would say. It's certainly true. I've been around way too many mediocre and just lame people to really push forward and say, hey, can you do this for me? Because, like, sometimes when I just ask someone or try and get someone to do something, like rely on them to do something, at the end of the day, they fuck it up or they just can't do it because they're too lazy, too stupid, or just incapable. So I have to do it, which is just annoying. And when you have to do this for, like, planning trips, living out your day-to-day life when it's just not work itself, oh my god. I can see why people go postal and shoot up schools and kill people, and why people just go insane, and why people just don't care about anyone else other than themselves at some points. Because the level of idiocy I've seen in the industry I work in is genuinely concerning. Because what I do has to do with aircraft, and some of the stupidest shit I've heard from comes from my, I guess, assistant manager's mouth. It's like, how did you get in this position, and why are you here if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Like, trying to send out parts of a plane to, for example, Boeing, for example, where they make the 737. I see like blatant parts have fucking gouges in them. Basically little bites out of the part. There's literal missing parts of aluminum in these parts since, most airplane parts are made out of aluminum. They're made out of this super soft aluminum, aircraft grade aluminum. So they tend to get fucked up a little bit, and they tend to warp and change and all that. But sometimes you get plenty of parts that are so screwed up and fucked up that, yeah, you gotta scrap it. You gotta, melt it down and try it again. Try again, make a new part. But sometimes this guy, this assistant manager, who looks at this part and says, oh yeah, that's fine, send it out to the paint house to get paint and finished up. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Well, this is a part that, per looking at all the basically requirements of whatever we're doing for a subcontract, because we're basically doing a contract for like Boeing, these parts, they're fucking dog shit. These parts have fucking gouges, little deep holes in them. Like, they're not like super deep where it like goes through the other side of the hole, but it's like, you can see little divots and dings in a fucking part to make you think this is just not a good part. And per the requirement of the contract, when we are making these fucking things, you can't have that. But we're still going to send it, because why? I don't know. And that's just one thing out of the many, many fucking things I have seen just go out through the company I work at. I fucking dislike the company I work at. Not because, like, the job's hard or anything. Like, the job itself isn't actually that bad. It's just the level of idiocy I see around all these fucking people. Makes me question myself. It's like, I get, like, subpar wages to try and make sure these parts, get sent out and processed in the scrap area, because sometimes we can actually save a part and make it work, and because we just need to do a quick fix, so you do a bit of a repair, inspect the part, and basically tell the guys when they're machining the part or whatever step in the process of making these parts. It's like, you need to fix this or do that. Some of these parts are very simple to fix. But my god, I get paid such subpar wages to save these parts that are worth, like, some of them are like worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for like 5 parts. Like, each part's like worth 25 grand. That's insane to me. But such is life. Apparently the world of idiots get rewarded instead of actually any intelligent, competent people get punished. And I'm just not saying this for myself. I have so many, like, competent coworkers that actually know what they're saying and know what they're doing, but are paid such a bare minimum subpar wage. It makes you really think, okay, how is it that supposed capitalism or meritocracy determines that people who actually know what the fuck they're doing get paid $18 an hour? Yeah, I just said. Some of these, aircraft inspectors get paid like $22 an hour, $21 an hour. And they've been in the company for several years, 5 plus. And that's the amount that they get paid. Why the fuck are they there? Well, main thing is that there's no one else that wants to take them, or some of them just get so comfortable in that, because the one nice thing is that no matter how badly you fuck up or do bullshit, it's just pretty simple. They just give you like a minor slap on the wrist and nothing happens. Nothing happens, which is insane to me. That's like the craziest thing to me, is that no one really gets punished or put in trouble for like doing like blatantly bad shit. Maybe that's why my company is the way that it is. But it's also a nice thing is because you don't really have to care too much. Which is funny, because whenever we have like meetings talking about like the process of when we manufacture these parts, it's like, why do we get so many parts that are scrap? Well, it's quite simple. Because you don't fire enough fucking people for being stupid. That's simple. That's why. And unfortunately, I think it's affected a little bit of my work ethic, because it's like, well, why should I even care? Like, I'm not going to get in trouble. I've seen people who do way worse stuff and not get in trouble. So why would I get in trouble? But no, at least I still do my job. I mean, there are people who just blatantly do not do their job, and I just see them talk all day with other people. It's like, okay, you get paid to just talk. What do you actually do? Man, and they even get overtime for that person that just fucking talks all the time. They just get overtime. That's insane to me. But whatever, it's how it is. That's such is life, I guess. Though, in my opinion, I just it just baffles me the amount of people that are in positions of power and positions of authority that are so unreliable, so fucking stupid, so self-centered, so incompetent in all sorts of things other than their ability to bullshit other people. It really makes me wonder, like, the argumentation of, well, we don't like nepotism because it gets people into places that they don't deserve. Well, how did these people get in there? Because I know for a fucking fact that some of these people did not get in here based off of nepotism. Some of these people actually were deemed as good enough and gotten that role. Excuse me? And even more, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how, like, these people make a profit. Like, for example, the business owner of the company I work at, he fucking sold his company for $85 million. Do you know how much money we actually make? Like, revenue, like monthly revenue? It's like 5 million, I think, for monthly revenue for like an aircraft manufacturer. I don't know if it's like monthly or yearly. I actually never found out, but I think, like, if I understand correctly, I think last year's revenue was like an actual just like 5 million revenue. And which makes me think, okay, no wonder this place is still in business. They pay the employees shit wages, and money's actually not really made all that much. That's why the company I work at never gives raises. And if they do, it's just like such a shit amount of money. It's just like, at that point, might as well work at Costco. You get paid better at Costco than working at this place. Like, unironically. Because, like, the base pay for, like, any new hire, at least in my department, is, like, $18 an hour. I get paid $18 an hour. Though, at some point, I think that might change because, funnily enough, when you have a company that's in the aircraft industry, and you have other bigger companies that are willing to poach them up for, $30 an hour, $41 an hour, you're not really going to have all too many people who want to work there because the work environment's shit and the pay's shit. So what's the fucking point of staying there? Yeah, there really isn't, unless you don't really give a fuck and are okay making a pittance wage and basically never getting fired. Like, you just don't get fired there. I've seen people get walked out or whatever for saying things, but if you just don't say anything and you just don't really put much effort in your job and just like do shit work and do like a bunch of oversight or just be neglectful, I've never seen anyone get in trouble for that. I've never seen it. And it's just insane. That's why I don't really see much of a future at the place I'm working at, other than I'm just here to just cruise on by and just do basically the bare minimum, because fuck me, man, that place is horrible. I don't respect what we do, what we make, or anything that I do at that company, because it's just horrible. It's just it is such subpar. And if anyone at my workplace hears this, you cannot fucking lie to me and tell me that we make good airplane parts. We just don't. We're the fucking Temu of air parts. We're the Temu of air parts. We're the Chinese sweatshop of aircraft parts. Because the only reason people buy stuff from us is because we're so fucking cheap that it's actually probably better deal to get stuff from us than just a place that actually gets their stuff manufactured correctly and on time. Because we do neither. We don't manufacture their stuff correctly, and we don't deliver it to them on time. So, my God, it's just insane, you know? And hearing, like, I think from, like, the owner, it's like, yeah, we want to be a world-class aircraft manufacturer, aircraft parts manufacturer, whatnot. And it's like, oh, okay, you're delusional. You're just not seeing reality. And, you know, the sucky thing is that, you know, the owner, he's an old man. He's, like, fucking ancient. Unfortunately, his fucking son sees the reality of the situation and just is just seeing his inheritance get burned down, because originally it was a privately owned company, but his father sold it, and he's just watching his whole company just fucking get burned down to the ground because it's just utter incompetence. It's just not a competently ran company. It's just not competently ran. And yet all these people get, you know, millions of dollars in retirement money pretty much from basically selling the company off to a private equity company, which they're also idiots as well for ever buying this fucking place. Because one of my coworkers mentioned is like, oh yeah, there were like several investors just walking through the you know, the machine shop, and he said that the owner was showing them around, and most of these investors never came back. The only investors that bought this place was, you know, the private equity group that bought us out. But it just goes to show how stupid this fucking private equity group and the CEO is that they sent an intern to do all this digging of what exactly they fucking bought, and they got pissed off when the intern said, oh, well, this place is not going to make any money, so you need to just accept taking the loss and try and fix the problems in here. And, you know, the general manager over this section of, I guess, the conglomerate of the private equity group over the Midwest, I guess, because I think they're from, like, Ohio or whatnot. Yeah, they said, it's like, well, before we fix any problems, we gotta make a little bit of money first. It's like, okay. When I heard that from the intern, because I talked to the intern, it's like, okay, wow. This fucking dude is crazy. The general manager is just as useless as the owner of the company, and that's just saying something. It's like, you want to make money from a place that doesn't make money. You're fucking stupid. But it's whatever. It's not like I wasted $85 million buying this shithole. It's not my money. But as for the future of job stability, I am a little bit concerned, because I at least would rather have a job that is, you know, stable within the next, like, 2 years, and I'm not gonna have to worry about my reputation get thrown on the ground because of the reputation of how badly we produce shit. Because I also do think that's also fucking my career over, or my job prospects over, is because, oh, you're part of this company. Oh, you have this on your resume. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want you. Though, to be fair, a coworker of mine who trained me and everything, and who I'm probably most likely going to be replaced when he goes, he was able to get a job at Boeing, and he's getting paid $31 an hour for being a quality inspector, and that's his first time actually doing aerospace. Like, he shifted completely different from a completely different industry from what he was doing to now, which is with aerospace. And that's the craziest stuff for me, is that. So maybe there is hope. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't been working for too long. I've been working for almost like half a year, pretty much. So, I don't know. We will see, but I don't know. I don't really see much of a future with the company that I'm working at right now. And my God, relying on anyone there, it kind of kills me on the inside. of relying anyone in there and relying basically fucking anyone in this goddamn state that I live in. It's just fucking useless. My family members are also fucking useless. Not like my direct family, but just my my extended family sometimes. Some of them are just not that bright. Some of them are really, really dumb. Which, hence why the fucking trip blew up, because they just weren't that bright. They weren't that smart. But anyways, I think I've done enough rambling about people's incompetency and just uselessness, and how basically all these people that I've seen get all this money and have all this success are some of the stupidest and useless people I've ever seen, yet somehow they've gotten all this money from just bullshitting so hard. It baffles the mind. It really does. Because it also makes you wonder. I wonder if, like, were these people always this way, or did they just become stupid recently? I don't know. But that's all I have to really say. Thank you guys for listening, and goodbye.